Look at Ranger talking shit already.
Says we are live. Hello, Gun Nation. How are you doing this evening,
Hello,
sir?
everybody. Ranger, I'm here, buddy, but for a short spin.
Yeah. Oh, and
So,
also, I'm starting a new thing when I host. First comment gets a big, huge shout out, and it was Ranger. Ranger 10 left the very first comment. So he gets a huge shout out. Thank you, Ranger, for being the first to leave a comment. But
bravo.
we'll go through a quick roll call here. Appreciate everyone being on. We got, let's see, man, there's already a ton of comments. Of course, we got Ranger 10, C. Kim, Big Al, Lawrence. Let's see here. Wheeled and well armed. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody because, man, their things are flying by.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sure I'm probably missing some people. Pistol Pete, IBG, Captain Phil. Let's see here. I don't think I'm missing else. Oh, Kathleen's on. Let me catch back up real quick and we'll get this rolling. G-Man. Hello, G-Man. Scott. Double B. All right. I think I'm caught up. And if I missed anyone, holler at me and I'll give you a shout out. All right. What's going on with you, sir? How are you?
Oh, boy, I've been better, that's for sure. So for those of you who are so concerned about me showing up tonight, 10 millimeter, last week I hurt my back. I hurt my back so bad I had to go and get it looked at. Went over there. When I got out, got sick with a respiratory infection. So I am in recovery mode right now. So I got about 30 minutes before I'm calling it a night. No, it's not coronavirus, okay? But it did take quite a bit out of me for a weekend, that's for sure. So I'm on antibiotics right now. It sucks, but thank God I am getting back and mending well.
Yeah, man. I wish you the best. We got Knuckles, more people. Double B, Keenan. Let's see. Two-wheeling nuts on. What we're going to do this evening is we are going to open it up to all of your questions. We have talked about some things, and I do have one thing I want to bring up, and we'll talk about it first. Hey, what's up, Josh? Josh Benware's on. But what it is the Joe Biden, two things, well, actually, he kind of did it all at once, too. But where he was at the at the iron worker deal and was talking to the guys or the union deal and, was sitting there kind of going toe to toe with the guy, basically called him an asshole, I believe. And, I'm going to take away, and he asked him a very respectable question, how do you feel about 2A? And you're, trying to interrupt the 2A. And he's like, I am not, but I'm going to take your AR-14s. And then kind of started cussing the guy out and then actually called him out saying, do you want to step outside? I'm like, what the hell? That guy needs a muzzle for one. He needs, dementia medication, and he also needs a muzzle. He's pretty much losing it big time. But what's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny because I think Joe Biden he doesn't have a chance in hell, and I think he's aware of that. But I think more importantly, he's trying to prove something. He's trying to prove that he's the tough guy, that he's this blue collared, just like the average Joe who's going to fight if people challenge him. I mean, it's so pathetic. It is just absolutely pathetic to watch. He should be a.
Uh-oh. Where'd he go? Okay, well, he'll probably jump back in. Probably just lost him. I'll as soon as he comes back in, I'll let him in. So I don't know what happened, but yes, he does need. I agree. A guy comment. He does need a little butt kicking. They are both nut jobs. That is true. And I'm surprised that. Well, put it this way: he was surrounded by Secret Service agents. Y'all saw them all around him. So if that guy would have gotten out of hand, he would have been dropped pretty quick. But here he is. All right.
Whoopsie.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
So,
yeah. Okay.
All right. So what I was trying to say before I had a technology problem, he's trying to come across as a big tough guy. Like he's trying to say I'm a blue collared guy, and all this other garbage. And I think it's what's even more telling is the fact of how he approaches, the average guy, the average blue collar guy who's working. He's going to square up toe to toe. Dude, you're 80 years old. You're basically batshit crazy. And you're flip-flopping on everything. Oh, well, you can have a double-barreled shotgun. Well, okay, I don't want a double-barreled shotgun, I mean, it's not practical, and that's not what we want. But he's full, it's pathetic. It is. It's absolutely pathetic that this is who is the Democrat nod. It's just pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine fighting that guy? I mean, you'd kick him in the hip and break his hip, and then he would have to use his Obamacare.
I know. Well, he doesn't have that. Remember, he was a member of the Senate for years, so he's got lifetime benefits.
I'm joking. I was being sarcastic, but yeah, he's definitely a loose cannon, and he needs to be put out to pasture. And a lot of people started texting me and DMing me all that stuff, and I was like, man, there's a nursing home with his name on the front door. He just needs to go to it. He's definitely lost it. Hello, Parks by Teddy. How are you?
It is pathetic, but it is the way it is. I guess at the end of the day, he's gonna have to stand toe to toe with Donald Trump. I think Trump needs to kind of pick up his game a little bit on his response with the coronavirus and the economy right now, because if he doesn't, it can cost him votes. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is a great question. What type of here it went right here. What type of AR-14 are you going to get?
I'm going to wind up getting a 4,000 round Kalashnikov AR-14.
There you go. Hey, what's funny on Instagram? I was just telling 17 about this on Instagram, and I actually I put at Joe Biden, so didn't know if he'd ever see it, and I put, where can I pick up one of these sweet AR-14s? And I said, does it take the big long clipazines also? And anyway, I didn't pay attention to it, and I looked to see who was looking at it, who saw it, and it was Joe Biden. It actually is him. Now, I don't know if it's him, probably a part of his camp, but I was like, and I even circled it, put that picture up. I'm like, crap, that's hilarious. So, I might have the Secret Service knocking on my door or whatever, but
I know. Be careful.
Yeah, but it wasn't a threat. It was just like, where can I pick up one of those sweet things he's talking about? But he's pretty much out there. But is there anything that you're excited about, or anything you've got going on with guns, or anything like that?
I got a couple of things in the works. One I don't really want to disclose just yet. I've done absolutely zero on YouTube, and I'm kind of pissed off about it because it happened at the wrong time. Excuse me. Sorry. This month for me was actually very good. I had a really good amount of views on some of the videos, best I've ever done, actually. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And then I got bad back. Then I got sick. And yes, I'm getting old and it sucks and I don't realize it. But, it just completely stopped the train, so to speak. So I have the P365. I've been playing around with it. If you guys took a look at my feed, I put the M-Carbo springs already because the trigger pulls suck balls. I mean, we're talking over 7 pounds, and now it's down to just slightly over 4. So that was a must for me. Again, some people don't want to do it, but I do because, I think it improves my trigger pull, and that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I still got to do a follow-up on the 509. I got to do a video on the VP9 SK, and I got this really cool thing coming from a company that I reached out to. And I'll tell more about it when I make the video, but I think it's going to be pretty friggin' sweet. And it's going to modify a handgun that I already have, and I think it's going to make it even better. But caveat to that is that I do not get to keep it. They're kind of loaning it to me to test it out for them. Cool. But it's fucking cool. That's all I can say, and I'm super excited. As a matter of fact, we've been talking about it, about something that I'd want to see kind of enter the market a little bit, and this is the ability to do it. It's a little bit costly, but it's definitely, in my opinion, groundbreaking, and this is where I'd like to see the striker market go.
Wow.
So that's me.
That's cool. Big Al said, you need to try some honey and vodka warmed in the microwave. That'll fix you.
Yeah, I wonder if whiskey would work.
It will. I'm drinking it right now.
I know. I'm drinking water, trying to stay hydrated right now.
There you go. All right. Here's a question that really can be for both of us. What's the farthest you've shot with any caliber or rifle?
Furthest I've ever shot? Well, since the ranges around here are maybe 250 yards. That's about it, man. Unless, you can go to like the West Point range, but you have to know somebody or be a graduate from there or be like somebody in the military. And their range is like 1,000 yards. Fucking beautiful, but it's hard to get in, and the other ones around here, like a lot of the local clubs are about 200, 250.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
What caliber was it?
Well, what wasn't? It was everything. We went out with a bunch of different old rifles. We had 2 through 3s, 7.62, 30-30s. We had the old 54s. We had a lot of cool shit. It was a lot of fun because there's steel plates out there, so we're just trying to hit all the steel. Accuracy that day, who cares? Just
Yeah.
having fun hitting stuff.
Yeah. The farthest I've ever, taken down an animal was 275. It was a deer. And that was with I think it was a 243. Yeah, it was with a 243. And then the furthest I've ever shot, and it was probably like 400 plus yards. And that's going to change, but that's, I'm just being honest. That's the farthest I've probably shot a gun that I remember, a rifle, as far as I've shot. So nothing, I haven't ever done 1,000-yard shot or any of that kind of cool stuff. I'm just a normal old average guy. I want to, I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. And we were definitely hitting steel at 250. It was fucking, I was having a lot of fun. Man, I'm cursing a lot tonight.
Yeah, you are. You're all angry.
You're going to get totally banned from YouTube.
Probably. Won't be the first time. Most of my videos are anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, and then Big Al's asking shot and hit. Yeah, the deer was a shot and hit. It was one. It went straight down. Didn't even have to chase it. I've hit pigs at way shorter distances than that, but I've never taken a pig that far. And then I've shot, when I was shooting the 400 something, it was just steel and I was hitting it. So, but I'm not the big scope guru, and the guy that I was with at that time, he knows scopes, and he was kind of telling me what to do. Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. So, but I got pretty consistent where I was banging it. So,
well, let me ask you this: what do you enjoy more shooting? Do you enjoy more the rifle or the handgun?
I mean, and that's kind of, and somebody asked me that too. I started really, of course I shot my grandfather's 45 and stuff when I was young, just learning pistols, but I grew up shooting 22s and 410s and shotguns and stuff like that. So I was shooting rifles way before I was shooting pistols. And then I looked at pistols as more challenging, just because you don't have multiple points of contact. You're just holding the pistol out there. And if you have a solid grip and everything, there's a little more, I guess, difficulty in it is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, I really enjoy pistols, but now since I've gotten back into rifles and started shooting them a lot more, I'm really enjoying them. I mean, they're just a lot of fun. Now, granted, when I go to shoot the suppressors, I have to shoot them at an indoor range. So I'm, 50 yards is my limit there. Right. But, I'm really enjoying the rifles and getting reacquainted with them. And, not that I ever really totally forgot how to shoot them, but shooting them more and more is really a lot of fun. What about you?
Yeah. I like handguns. I'm a handgun guy. I figure I'm spending more time with those anyway, on a daily basis. Yeah. But like you, I mean, I like my rifles. I'm going to dust them off a little bit in the spring, and just start, shooting. Just want to get better, want to get more accurate with them. I mean, I find that I personally shoot rifles better, obviously, especially when you don't have to necessarily deal with the shaky hand syndrome. But it's fun. I find it to be very challenging. I know how you said it's more challenging with a handgun, but I find a rifle to be more challenging, especially if you're trying to make more accurate shots at a longer distance. So, for me, it's a work in progress, but I like shooting the rifles, man. It's a lot of fun, but I have to say the most fun I've had is always shooting at steel targets. At that point I don't care about accuracy. I just want to hear that bing, and I always think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, it gives you instant feedback, and I really enjoy shooting steel also. I mean, even like if you're doing a steel challenge, like with pistols, it's a lot of fun because you're hearing ding, 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 Well, with paper, you don't hear anything. Of course, we know that. Here's a great question. Guy comment, CZ P01 Omega Tactical or the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 for daily carry?
Well, I mean, I got both of them. For daily carry, that's a tough call. I mean, it depends on what you're more proficient with. I mean, if you're more proficient with the striker fire, go with that. If you like the double single action for the less room for accidentals, go with that. I mean, they're both excellent guns. The P01 is my favorite gun of all time. Do I carry them as often as, like, let's say the 2.0? No, because it's just an easier gun to shoot for me, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and I would say pretty much kind of the same thing. It's kind of like an apple and an orange. You got the single action, double action, and then you got the striker fire. It's which one you're more. Now with the striker fire, we all know it's going to be a more consistent trigger. You're probably going to shoot it a little more accurately depending on your training with it. But that's one thing that I always challenge myself with is shooting double action, single action triggers, because I want to be proficient with both. So if you don't have any experience with the double action, single action, and you have a ton of experience with striker fire, you might want to try a double action, single action, see what you think about it. And yes, you can be very proficient with them, and they are very accurate. So don't worry about the accuracy. It's there if you do your part.
And this kind of goes back to somebody who asked me if I saw the M Carbo CC75 kit. I actually have a couple of them in my P01s, and that's a beauty of those guns too. I mean, if you don't mind tinkering with things, I mean, it's not easy. It's a very difficult, in my opinion. It's more difficult than any gun I've ever worked on, just because it's a lot more intricate pieces there. But once you get it down, the sear cage is the biggest pain in the ass. But if you do it the right way and you don't pop this spring and that spring and every other spring out of there, you're going to be fine. But, that way you get your double action at like a 7-pound double action, which is good. I mean, that's really good. And then your single action is like a 3.5 to 4 pound. That's excellent. So you can make these guns scream and work the way you want them to. That's for sure. But it just takes patience and some know-how.
Yeah, Big Al's saying he's got a range or land where they can get out to 1,500 yards. We do have a range. It's not real close to me, but we have a 2,000 yard range that has steel at like Pat, I think at 100 it starts at steel, and then every 50 it adds like bigger steel, but you can go out to 2,000 yards. But I'm not the 2,000 yards guy, so that's not me.
So let me ask everybody out there and you a question as well. What do you consider the biggest disappointment gun that you've ever owned, handgun wise?
Wow. Biggest disappointment.
Yep.
That I've ever bought, and I could have even gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to currently own it.
No, you don't have to currently own it.
The only reason I'm saying this, I love the pistol. I loved it. But it was the Ruger Mark III or 4. It's the one, that you had to, it's not the newer one. I think that's the Mark IV, but I'm talking about the Mark III. I love the pistol. Full barrel, shot awesome. It was great. But to clean it, it literally was an act of God to take that thing apart. I owned the gun, and I had to go back and watch videos of how to take it apart. And there were 30-minute videos of how to take it apart. It was just the biggest pain in the ass. Now, I will say this. If you own it and you take it down a whole bunch and you clean it like after, you're going to get more proficient with it, with taking it apart. And I didn't have the patience or the time for that. So I did get rid of that one. However, I've got the new one and I love it. It comes apart in 2 seconds. So
interesting.
That's me.
I think I have two. One that will not be a surprise to anybody is the Walther CCP M1. I had the M1. That gun was a huge disappointment. Huge disappointment. No matter what anybody tells me, or how many hate comments I get on that video, I still laugh at some of the comments I get on that video. It's hilarious. And then the second place, is actually a gun that I love. Fantastic gun, shoots great. Got really no overall complaints. It's the Beretta APX. It's the most disappointing handgun I've ever owned because, honestly, Beretta sucks. I've come to terms with the fact that Beretta can blow me. And the reason being is because they've just completely abandoned it. Now the new hype is the 92X, whole series. Somebody's saying the Caracol. The verdict is still out on that. If they'd ever returned the damn gun to me, that'd be great. But I can't definitively say Caracol until I get it back, shoot it again, and see if I have the same problems. But the APX has been such a huge disappointment because it's such a good gun, and they've just completely abandoned the damn gun. So screw you, Beretta.
No, I guess I didn't hear about this. Pistol Pete saying the 15-year-old girl that got mugged by the gang.
Oh yeah, man.
I guess I must have missed that one.
Yeah, it was down in the city. So she got jumped by like 25 boys because she got into a fight earlier in the day. So she was walking and they beat the piss out of her, and then one kid stole her shoes and all of her crap. Because
Oh
this
my
is the world
God.
we're living in, man. Welcome to New York.
Wow. But you have the
New
strictest
York is.
gun laws and the
Oh
safest
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and the
yeah. That's why they do in the
safest
city
city.
because you can't shoot anybody in the city because you're not armed.
Wow.
So this is what we're dealing with, man. It's bad up here. It's this is the worst I've ever seen it, man. It's terrible. It's a damn shame. It's an embarrassment. We are an embarrassment to the country,
Wow.
100%.
That's crazy. Yeah. What is now? Let's see here. I was trying to think of another gun. Since you brought that up, another disappointing gun. And I'm trying to even think of a rifle. Um, well, I will say this, and this one's pretty funny. And I owned this thing for years and years and years, and I shot the crap out of it, and I never cleaned it. I never cleaned it, and there's a reason why. It's the high point. The high point rifle, the little
Yeah.
carbine. Okay. Well, this was the version one, and I called it the Planet of the Apes gun because it didn't have the tactical stock and all that. It's just that goofy looking thing. I bought it used for like $125 or something. It was cheap as hell. I shot the crap out of that thing and never cleaned it because in order to clean it, like the Ruger, you have to disassemble the whole damn gun. I mean, take pins out, cotter pins, all this other crap. And it took like 45 minutes to clean the gun. Now to run,
Yeah.
I could run a bore snake through it, but in order to really take it apart and clean it, so I never cleaned it. I never even ran a bore snake through it. And I probably put a couple thousand rounds, if not more, through that damn thing, and then ended up selling it to my cousin and got rid of it.
Yeah, give him the piece of crap.
Yeah, no, it's what's funny is he wanted it so bad because they didn't make them anymore, and he just thought it looked.
Yeah.
I used to call it the Planet of the Apes gun, and he's an older guy, and he thought, man, that's really cool. It does look like that. So anyway, he bought it, and he still has it to this day. Now I'm sure he has taken it down and cleaned it. I'm sure he has, but
Right.
he still has it, and it still runs. So that's another
I
one.
believe it. So I just want to say one thing. Keenan Gregory, or Keenan Gilliam. Sorry, why did I call him Gregory? Because I'm looking at all the comments. But
Well, Keith Gregory.
Keenan, I think
Yeah.
I think when I get what I get, you're gonna be very interested in it. That's all I'm gonna say. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna be very interested in what he's gonna see.
Hmm.
He would be a guy I could see getting this thing.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I don't. He hasn't told me what it is.
I
So
know.
I
I
have
haven't.
no
I haven't
idea.
told you. I haven't told you.
Yeah.
I
No,
just. I just found out that I was going to be getting it like 2 days ago, and then they just sent me a picture of it boxed up.
Uh-oh. He wants to know what it is.
So
This is a really
no,
good
I'm
question.
not.
Kathleen is asking, for both. If you don't shoot a pistol for a while, do you lose the skill and the accuracy?
Yes.
Yeah. What I would say is you could get a shot on target. Now you're not, if you're coming from the holster, you're not going to be as fast as you once were. Not that I'm a speed demon, because I'm not. You're not going to be as fast. Your first shot is probably going to not be as accurate. Your tempo is going to be off. Sometimes finding the dot, like when you practice it a lot and then you just don't shoot it for a while, or even at the range, and then you grab it again, you might have a little inconsistency in your alignment. However, a body shot, like if you're just going for center mass, you're going to hit it. I mean, it's not going to be like over the paper unless you're potentially shooting a double action, single action trigger. But on striker fire, I would say you're going to do what you need to do. But yeah, it can dissipate, and the longer you wait to pick up that pistol and shoot it, the worse it's going to become.
I think where you really lose a lot of your, if you want to call it skill, is the trigger. I think once you, because every trigger is different. All trigger pulls are going to be different. I don't care if people say, "Oh, it's a striker fire," they're all the same. No, they're not. I mean, every gun I own, there's all different little quirks to each fucking trigger. Oh God, there's that word again. Each trigger, and I think once you move away from a handgun and you stop really practicing with it and feeling that trigger, and even if you're dry firing, you know exactly where that's breaking. You know exactly where the reset is. Like there are some guns that I own that I don't shoot as often. Some that I don't shoot, more like safe queens. I hate to say it that way, but there are some guns that are constantly being shot, constantly being thrown through the rotation. Those are the guns I'm most familiar with, and those are the ones I feel most confident with. So I mean, it's like anything else. If you don't use the skill, you're going to lose the skill. You know.
Yeah, and Pistol Pete even brings up this point. If he shoots a Shadow 2 or shoots a Shadow, and then he picks up another handgun, he sucks. And I will say, like, if I go to the range and I shoot 1911 triggers, single action triggers, I shoot 1911 triggers, TSO triggers, and I shoot those a lot. Or if I just take the TSO and shoot it a lot, then the next time I go to the range, the first, I'd probably say 20 shots. It's not that they're crazy, but it's just like I have to get used to that trigger again. And I will say this, if you're going to carry a particular gun, dry fire practice with it, put your ammo away, all that stuff, be safe. But, dry fire practice with it. Even prior to going to the range, if you're going to the range on a Saturday, Friday night, dry fire with it. Get a little used to it. And then when you go to the range, it's not going to be a big, crazy disappointment or, a big waste of a range trip. Especially.
Right. And guy comment. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
Especially if you're, using a really heavy trigger or a really light trigger.
Yeah, now, guy comment brings up a good point. He's saying that even if you change the same day, it takes a little time, and he's absolutely right. One of the things I've had to do is walk back how many damn guns I take to the range because, you're like going this and that and everything else. Even the size of the guns are different because the hold's going to be different. So he's right. He's right on that one.
Yeah, and I will. We got Rabbi on here. Appreciate you coming on, Rabbi, and Channel Cat Chaser. I will. I went with some people to shoot, and they're not proficient shooter. I mean, they don't shoot a whole lot, but they asked me to help them, so I agreed to it. And anyway, I worked with him and his wife, and not that I'm an expert and I'm not an instructor. Don't even think that. I was just showing them.
You're not an expert?
No. I will never claim to be. But I was showing them some basic stuff. And what's funny, when we first started, she was, shooting pretty large groups. Well, we actually got them really, really tight and nice. And I let her shoot the Shadow 2. She had never shot a Shadow 2 before. And, with the dot. And so we sent it out to about 7 yards or so. And I'm not joking. With the weight of the gun, the better trigger, and all the other stuff, and the dot, of course. I mean, she was stacking groups like about that big. And I was like really impressed. I mean, I was like, that's awesome. And she was shooting her gun towards the end really well. But then when you handed the Shadow with the extra weight, it really gave her a ton of confidence because she was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, here's the difference between, a 20 or something ounce gun and then a, a 43 ounce gun. So there's a big difference. But, it's not easy to carry, but it could be. I mean, if you want a heavy gun like that to carry, a steel gun, but it really made a difference. And she could see the difference. It was neat because she had never even shot a steel gun before. She had no idea what it was like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my thing right now is that I guess, there's just not a lot of people who are into shooting guns right now. I mean, it's just, it's not surprising on the location, but it's, I don't know. I think like anything else, if you go just go and shoot, and somebody mentioned, I don't know who it was. I lost their comment, but they were saying they tend to go fast. And that's another thing that I got to kind of tell myself in the brain, like, slow down, man. You don't burn through your ammo so fast. Yeah. And that's one thing, I remember shooting and this guy was next to me and he was a dead on. I mean, this guy was such a damn good shooter. I was like, holy crap. His groups were like, no kidding, penny sized groups. He was such a good shooter. I was very impressed. As opposed to my shrapnel page, but, he was telling me one of the things he's worked on for years, he's an older guy. He was telling me he just goes slow, just real slow, feel the trigger, hit the reset, and then he shoots from reset. But his groups were amazing. He was really awesome. Awesome guy and just a great shooter,
Yeah.
So
I've seen a lot of the target shooters, that do that. Like they'll just, do the one hand, two hand. One thing that I always do when I go to the range is I'll shoot at 5 yards just to get warmed up, 5 to 7. Actually, it's usually 7 yards to get warmed up, and then I'll stretch it farther out. But I actually do slow fire, just slow, consistent shots, try to get the aim down, and then I actually do rapid shots to see if I can hold the group tight. So I do, every time I go, it's rapid shots and slow shots. But here's a good question, and I've got some comments on this, but what about the new single action Shadow 2? What's your opinion on it?
Meh. That's my opinion. I know you guys love the Shadow 2, and everybody kind of is like, oh, the Shadow 2. I like it. Nice gun. Just doesn't do anything for me. You
Yeah.
know, I know that's sacrilege, but that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
Well, here's the reason they came out with it. And I talked to CZ, the little, the CZ rep, I know him, and he was telling me, yep, the Shadow 2 single action's coming. I was like, yeah, I heard that. A lot of people will take their Shadow 2s now and they will actually make them single action because you can. So if you choose to do that, that's cool. But that's not really what the gun's designed for. It's designed for double action, single action. Well, now they came out with the Shadow 2 single action. My opinion on that is if you're going to spend that kind of money for it, why not just buy the TSO? Save up some more money, buy the TSO, because there is a
That's
difference.
true.
There is a difference
Yeah.
between the two guns. It's still ultimately a single action Shadow 2. So if you want the real deal, get the TSO. But if you just ultimately can't afford it and you want a single action gun with the great grips where you can change the grips and make it a little more customized, hell, get the Shadow 2 single action. My opinion, I won't buy one. I don't have any reason to. But then again, it's America. Buy what you want, shoot what you want.
That's right.
All right,
And
here's
even if it only
a
has 10 rounds, damn it.
yeah, Pistol Pete saying you would like the Beretta 292G Elite LTT Compact.
It's funny you say that. There's one in the local store, and I don't know. Like I'm kind of I'm really irritated with Beretta right now. So I've kind of just shied away from them, and it sucks. I like the Beretta. I think it's a good, solid manufacturer, but I just don't get them. I mean, if I see one more advertisement for a sweatshirt or a hat or a shotgun, it's like, God, man, give me a break already.
That's their bread and butter. Yeah, and this is, Knuckles is saying, that he's found shooting revolvers and double action has made him a better semi-auto shooter. What's your opinion on that?
I think so. I think you just got to kind of practice with it,
Yeah.
and especially with the heavier double actions, if you go and you go and get it out of the box when it's 10 pounds, yeah, you have to maintain that trigger control, and you're able to stage it. I mean, stage the hammer, and you're able to get good shots off of it,
Yeah, and that is one reason. And people have asked me why I do like decocker version pistols because with our convertibles, you can make it single action, or excuse me, you can make it safety, or you can keep it a decocker. And I do like the decockers because there's times when I'm shooting a single action, double action pistol like a PO9 or something like that. You can actually basically decock it. You can shoot it that way, or you can leave it in double action, and you can just every time you pull the trigger, you can put it back in double action. So it gives you that ability to do that. So you don't have to go buy a revolver. You don't have to practice on a revolver because you kind of got 2-in-1 on those guns. So that's another reason I really like shooting them. You can shoot them in single action. If you just want to rack it back and send one off, or if you want to take the hammer and just pull it back with your thumb like a revolver, you can do that too. But I just enjoy shooting them. But again, when I go to the range, like 17 was saying before, I would take double action, I'd take single action, I would take just all kinds of crap. And then as you're shooting all these different guns, you're just losing tempo. You're not focusing on one trigger. So now I take all single action, or I take double action, single action, or even single action and double action, single action, because I can relate more to that. But that's kind of what I do. What about you?
I just do whatever I want. I do whatever, whichever way I feel like going. I mean, it's like, I don't have any set mindset on anything. I'm willing to shoot whatever. A lot of times for me, it's just about pulling something out, putting it in my hand and saying, man, it's been a long time. And whether it's the P01s, the Phantom is one that I have not shot in forever. It's sitting in my safe by my bed. And I was playing around with it the other day because I was comparing it to the X-Carry with the Wilson's Combat, lower. And I'm like, God, they feel so similar now. I mean, it's such a nice gun, But I just do whatever. I mean, the bottom line is, and I'm really thankful everybody asks for advice and opinions and everything. But at the end of the day, you guys have to do what you feel is right for you and what your system is and how you want to operate it. Don't listen to us YouTube guys, because we're all different. We all have different opinions and different likes and dislikes. And I'm not an expert. I know Big J's not an expert, or although he may be secretly.
No.
And I just think that all the people who claim they're experts online is just, use it with caution, man.
Well, and here's the thing too, and Uncle Dan, like you'll see his comment here. He'll take Glocks and ARs mostly. Okay, and a lot of people feel that way, and that's one thing. A lot of people that teach and do things like that, they've worked a Glock platform for 10 years plus. That's all they've shot. Everything that they do, they live and breathe that one particular gun. So when you start mixing up guns, you're going to have a different feel. You're going to have a different trigger. You're going to have something different.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take one dedicated gun and that becomes your gun, and I've done this before. Matter of fact, Humble pretty much made me do it, or coerced me into doing it. And so I shot a Glock for 3 months straight. I didn't touch another gun. It was only the Glock 34, that gun for 3 months. And if I went to the range, I only took one gun and that was it. And did it make me better with Glocks? Yes. But did I like the 34? No, I actually hated it. That was just me personally. But if I had to take the 19X, the way I've got it set up now, I could make that my one gun. I really could, and I can shoot it very well. So, and I do feel a lot of similarities between the P10C and now my customized Glock 19X, because it's got the molded grip and all that stuff. So I feel a lot of similarities in those. But what's funny is when I put them head to head, and I'm not a Glock guy, y'all know that. When I put them head to head, I can actually shoot the Glock 19 a little bit better. Not drastically better, but I can shoot it a little bit better. And that's weird for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I was looking at something that a lot of people are talking about, the Glocks and the importance of the Glocks being so simple and so available. And I think obviously I agree with all those comments, but I also don't think you should discount some of the other guns that are so simple to work on. I mean, I'll tell you, one of the easiest guns to me that matches up almost perfectly with Glock is the M&P. Super easy to take down completely. It's not complicated. It's very simple. I worked on the P365. That gun was super easy to manage. It was not a lot. I mean, it's got one pin to take it out, and you got the whole module out.
Yeah.
I think the modularity systems are also very easy to work on for that simple fact.
Yeah, and the Steyr too. You remember that?
Yeah, Steyr also pulls right out. The whole chassis comes out. I mean, they're easy guns. It's just a matter, like I said, of what works best for you. If you're a Glock guy, stick with it. Who cares? Who cares what everybody tells you?
Yeah. And, I've been asked this question too, and I see a couple of people have asked it. And I think Rabbi was actually, I don't remember who, they're flying by. So, but how much money did I put into the Glock 19X to get it to shoot that way? Honestly, it was milled for the red dot, and he did the grip, and I could have had it Cerakoted or just done black or whatever. In that gun, with aftermarket mods, not including the actual RMR, I think I have $600 in it, $700.
Jesus.
But here's the deal: my hands are not like normal people's hands. They're not, and I'm not trying to. You can actually get it just milled, and you could probably shoot it better too. But when they round the grip and all the ramp and all the other stuff, I mean, it's not cheap, and he does all of the stippling by hand. I mean, that's custom stuff. And what he did is I put my hand on it. He actually molded it to my hand. So you're removing a lot of that hump, that weird hump, but he's not taking any of the width that I need off of it. So it's definitely a technique, and you're going to pay if you want something like that done correctly. So
sure. I mean,
but am I, and people have asked me this: do I feel that I have gotten what I wanted out of that gun, or was it worth it? I've been asked that a lot, and I would say 1,000%. Because if I had to only grab one gun, and I've said this before, it would be that gun, even over the P10s.
I mean, I think for me, the 19X to me was what a stupid mistake it was to sell that gun off. Because I have a 19 now, and if I could go back, I'd dump all my 19s and just keep the 19X. And the reason why I say that, for me, it just works out of the box. You know what? I didn't need to upgrade it to an Apex trigger. I just like the flat chew better. That's my personal preference. I like the feel of the trigger better for me. It's not necessary on that gun. The trigger was good. I think probably one of the best out of the box Glock triggers that they had. The The sights blow, so of course you would upgrade the sights. I threw some cheap Ameriglow iDot Pros. You can find them for $70. So if I looked at the 19X now and I didn't put the trigger kit and just did the sights, we're looking at $70 extra.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's totally worth it. The 19X, I still think hands down was their best Glock they've come out with in a while. Obviously they have the 45. If I could go back, I mean, one day I'm probably going to wind up selling my 19 again just to get that 19X back, because it to me, it fits my hand so much better. It's not a lot of work. So like I said, the differences between me and Big J are so different. So he puts in a lot of money to customize it to make it feel right for him. For me, it's totally different. Right out of the box, it felt fine. No problems, except for the sights.
Yeah, Scott's asking, okay, so basically I have, where did it go? It flew by. I have $1,200 on a Glock 19X. Okay, well, here's the deal. That's only $1,200. The true Gucci Glock guns with like the agencies and all these others, those things are $2,700. So $1,200, is not, I mean, it's high. Don't get me wrong. You could buy a couple of Glocks for that, but I've got to have that extra length. That 19X just does it for me on a Glock. But this is so answer this question just super quick. Do I need to buy a backup BCG for an AR9? Do they fail easily? Not the BCGs do not fail easily, but the firing pins, your little firing pin that goes inside there, does fail on the AR9. So have some backup firing pins. I have, probably 3,000 or 4,000 rounds through my AR9, and it hasn't broken yet. But I pulled it apart and I could see where the tip is starting to wear. So I'm going to be getting some firing pins. So I would just say keep a couple and you'll be fine. They're super easy to put in. It takes minutes to pop them in. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna sign off for tonight, fellas and ladies. So really quick, No Mike said, and I responded, and he responded back, but he said, "How is the 19X superior to Glock 45?" I don't think it is. I think the Glock 45 has some advantages. I do like the front slide serrations on the 45 better, but I do like that little cut at the bottom, that little lip at the bottom of the 19X. Just gives you a little bit more for that pinky on your supporter hand. Ultimately, they're fairly almost the same. I mean, they're the same. There's really not much to make a difference between the two, except for you get a pretty, poop brown one versus an all black one, and then you can customize it the way you want. Going back, like I said, for me, the 19X would probably be the winner. Because I am an FDE person and I like the color, but you can't go wrong with either. So,
yeah, and if I want to put a flared magwell on my 19X, I've got to cut the tab off. Actually cut it off to make it like a Glock 45, and that's why I won't. And between the Glock 45, if I put my hand on it, I still get the regular 17 grip, without the tab. And believe it or not, that tab, I can keep my pinky on it, but with the regular 45, my pinky falls off of a full-size Glock. So that's why I like it so much. And what's funny, and I had him do this is another part of the customization. On the inside of that tab, if I use my Dawson Big Mag, my 5+5 extensions, the Dawsons are so thick, I could not put it in there with that tab. So I had him take the inside of the tab and actually shave it down to where I can fit any mag extension I want in there. I can put, I can use the Dawsons, I can use the Shield arms. So that was another part of the customization. And he made it look like it came from the factory. There's no goofy marks. I mean, I don't know how the hell he does this, but the thing, when you look at it up close, people have been like, holy crap, I can't believe it looks that nice. You pay for nice.
All right. I'm chiming out here, guys. Thanks for watching, fellas, ladies, and I will see you definitely next week.
All right, man.
And I will be hopefully 100% then. So thank you,
better, man.
Jay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
All right. You too, man. Take care. All right. Yes, Kathleen, if you're looking for sights on your SP01, definitely Dawson. I love Dawson Precision sights. They make great sights. You can get some really nice fiber optics on there. And you can pick green, red. It even comes in the package, whatever color you want. And that's the way I would go on that, because the SP01 sights are not that great. I actually prefer the suppressor sights, the taller ones on the tacticals. And I've got those too, but the SP01s, they're good night sights, but they're just really blocky. So they will take up a lot of your target, where the, you don't like fiber optics. Okay. Unfortunately, I know if you were to put a dot on the SP01, you would like it even better. So, but I understand with I like fiber too. My eye just picks it up really quickly, but some people it doesn't. So, yep, we can get us some AR-14s. They're cheap, but ain't nobody got time for that. Just like what Rabbi says. What other questions do y'all have? Any other crazy news or anything y'all want to talk about? I want to get y'all's opinions. What do you think about a 22 bolt precision gun? What y'all's opinions on that? 22 long rifle bolt precision gun. Any fans of them? Anybody have some that they love? I'm just curious. All right. Any opinions on the Smith & Wesson Victory, or am I better with a Mark V? Wife is looking for another range toy. They are both actually great guns. I've shot the Smith & Wesson Victory. I've shot it actually quite a bit. It was not my gun. It was someone else's. And if you go back to my old videos, stock trigger, stock sights, everything, we put a playing card, like Jack of, I don't know, I've got pictures of them and you can watch the video. Never even shot playing cards in my life. So I tried some 22 Plinkster crap, and I put the card up and I hit the card on the very first shot and I cut it in half. It's all on video. I'm not making it up. And then the next card I put up, it took 2 shots to split that card at 5 yards, and you can see it all. It's real. So I cut 2 playing cards with 3 shots from a Victory. So they are great guns and they're very accurate. But then again, I've got the Mark IV and I absolutely love it. I do have the Mark IV Tactical, so it's heavy. It's got the lower rail, the upper rail, and I would recommend the heavier one. I've shot the light and they're great, but I like the extra weight personally. So, but that's just me. So it's whatever you like. Let's see here. Boy, these things are flying by now. Old Buckmark, yeah, they're great pistols too. Okay, you like the 22 Precision? I'd like one. I don't own one, but I think they're interesting. Yeah, I just, you can kind of shoot. I just think it's fun if you want to go relax just to shoot. Like a precision. I've got my M&P 1522, and I really love it. But of course, it's not a precision gun. And since I'm doing a lot more rifles, I was thinking about getting a 22 Precision, not just a plain old 22, but getting some sort of a 22 Precision rifle, to just like shoot some groups from a distance, 50 yards, 100 yards, with maybe like some match grade ammo, just to kind of have some fun. And, you can definitely shoot it on the low. Of course, if you get precision ammo, it's more expensive, but I just think they're really cool. And I used to shoot a lot of 22s. As a matter of fact, I've got a pretty big or pretty nice old 22 collection of 22 pumps and semi-automatic old 22 rifles. And I really love them. I just don't shoot them that much because some of the parts are kind of difficult to find on some of these. And they're all like Remingtons and stuff like that. But, I don't know who, I know some of the older gunsmiths work on them, but who knows? Let's see here. Browning Buckmark. Yeah, they're great pistols. The only thing is that I would recommend is stay with the Ruger or the Victory. And the reason I'll say that now, and there are things that are offered for the Buckmark, but if you go to Tandem Cross, and if you've seen my 22, and you can check it out on Instagram or on YouTube, I've got videos on it. If you've seen my 22 Ruger, the thing is tricked out. I've got a little gas pedal on it. I've got a comp on it. I've got a dot on it. You can put lock grips on it. You can do all kinds. I've got an extension for the follower. It gives you one more round, and all of that is available through Tandem Cross, and also for the Victory too. So if you want to make it better, and I do have the Apex trigger for it, and I'll tell you what, that Ruger with the Apex trigger is unbelievable. I have let people shoot it, and they're like, that trigger is amazing. I mean, the reset, everything about that trigger is awesome. And so you can, do some things like that too. And I kind of like to, make them a little different. So that's just my opinion. But heck, do what you want, grab what you want. And yes, the Ruger 4 is super easy to clean. CKM, Big Johnson Guns and Gear. I have an older adult 22 LR bolt with a 22-inch barrel but like a real hunting rifle. Yeah, that's awesome. And the one that I won't tell you what it is, but the one that I'm probably going to get is what, like the PRS, the professional like shooters, the long range guys. It's one similar to what they would use. So it's like a trainer. Not that I'm a precision guy, but man, I've been looking at some 22 LR events, where you can go and you can do like precision 22, and the target that they have, it's pretty crazy, but it's got like dual legs, kind of like a sawhorse, and then it's got these little spinners. So you shoot them and they spin around, and there's like 6 of them. So I think the first target maybe is this big, and then they go get smaller and smaller. But the very last one is actually the size of a 22 bullet. So the end of the bullet, that's the size of it. And these guys are popping these things from like 25 and 50 yards. And not that I would ever be that good, because I wouldn't, or maybe, I guess, if I practiced enough. But I mean, it is so cool watching these guys shoot these rifles, these little 22s. And I just think that'd be a lot of fun. And of course, I would get a threaded barrel one so I could put my suppressor on it and stuff like that, because with a bolt, you're not going to hear anything except the bolt action and maybe the trigger going bang. But I just think that'd be a lot of fun. Lots of serious 22 shooters at your range. Yeah. Yeah. Music 22s are a blast. And I've got, I think I've got 322 pistols. And I love shooting them, and you can shoot them all day long on a box of ammo. I mean, even if you just want to go shoot, basic ammo, you don't have to buy match grade ammo. Oh, Scott drives by Tandem Cross daily. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Tandem Cross has some really nice stuff. They offer all kinds of stuff, and they offer, even for your 22 bolt or your 22 Rugers, they offer a ton of stuff for those too. Let's see here. Apex 1022 trigger. No, I've never seen that they have a 1022 trigger. This is for the Ruger Mark IV. They do offer a trigger for it, and they even have it for the Mark III too. And I put mine in. It's a little challenging, but Apex has an awesome video where it's step by step on how to put the trigger in. If you follow that video, you can't mess it up. And what I hate about Ruger is you can't fire it, without the mag in it. Well, when you do this kit, you can actually disconnect that mag, the mag disconnect, so you can actually take that out of the system. Okay, CZ Shadow 2 has the Apex in his 3 and 4. Yeah, I really like them. I think it really makes that trigger nice. But of course, I like Apex triggers and guns too. Yeah, Reb, I think they're cool. I've been watching them for a while, the little 22 events. Now, they have different ones. They have ones that are for long range, and then they have one where you're sitting in the prone, you're kneeling, you're sitting on your butt with your legs crossed, so you're shooting from different positions. And man, I think that would be a blast. I just think it'd be a lot of fun. Because heck, when you're old, you can shoot it. When you're young, you can shoot it. So you're going to be shooting, ladies. I mean, whoever wants to shoot it can shoot it. And I just think it'd be a lot of fun. And, there's some people out there that are just crack shots with those things. It's crazy. Let's see here. Do they make a 22 conversion for the Shadow 2? I know they make one for the original Shadow, and I have one for my P09, and they'd make one for the P07. They also make them for the Tanfolio, but I don't know. Somebody told me that the one for the Shadow will fit on the Shadow 2, but I don't know if that's true, because the slide is longer. So I don't know if that's true. Don't hold me to that, but you could probably look it up, just Google it or something for the Shadow 2, and they show the fitment on there. The only thing about the Shadow, the original Shadow version, is some of them you had to do a little polishing on the slide to get it to work correctly. On the P09 and P07, there's no adjustment there. You don't have to do anything. You just throw it on and shoot it. Yeah, those Olympic pistol shooters where they do that crazy position, man, that's awesome. I mean, it's crazy how accurate they are. Yes, Kathleen, it will get your gun dirty. But I've shot a ton of rounds through my 22 conversion for my P09, and I've never had it lead foul completely out. I have had some 22 pistols, lead foul completely out where they would not even fire. I actually, at the range, I had to run the bore snake through it multiple times to get the gunk out of it. But I've never had the P09 shut down. It'll get the gun dirty, but any 22 will. So, especially if you suppress it, it's going to get even dirtier. So, but yeah, the Jericho 941 is a really good gun. I've shot them, and maybe you had a really, really good one, or maybe you just put a lot of wear in it. But out of the box, I think some of the CZ shadows or some of the CZ triggers are better out of the box. You know, I shot a Jericho, and it might have had, you know, grit on the trigger or something, but it wasn't good. But it was fairly new. It was not my gun. It was the range's gun, and they had just got it, so I shot it, and you know, it was pretty gritty. But like I said, it was new. Oh yes, we appreciate the thumbs up so much. Thank you very much, Lorenz and Rabbi. Yeah, throw those thumbs up. We appreciate it. Cowbells and thumbs up. There you go. Appreciate that. 59 peeps. Oh, we only have 8 thumbs up. Wow. That's yeah, I was gonna say. But anything else before we wrap this up? We've got about 5 minutes. I'll let you know what I have coming up. I've got some goodies in. Got a big old huge box on the floor, but I've got some stuff I'm going to be testing out. Some Accutac stuff. I got some more in from that. I ordered some stuff that will be coming in. I'm going to purchase something that I've been waiting on for quite a while. It came in, so I've just got to go down and pay for it, which, you know, not a big deal. I've been saving up for it. And that's the thing, you know, I don't get guns for free or any of that kind of stuff. I have to buy all that. But, you know, and I pretty much am buying everything from Texas Gun Experience. I'm supporting my local guys that help me out and that I support. So I'm trying to buy as much as I can from them. And I don't know if y'all noticed, have you seen that the 9mm ammo is starting to creep up a little bit? It was pretty cheap. Now it's gone up about 10 or 12 bucks for a case. I buy it by the thousands, but it's starting to creep up again. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, if you've been paying attention to it, because I try to keep quite a few thousand rounds on hand at all times. So that way I've got plenty. Big L, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, this is a hobby and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy talking with like-minded people, and it means a lot that y'all are on here. We really appreciate y'all's support so much. So we will start doing this, and I've got something special coming out. I believe it's next Tuesday. I will put reminders out, but it's going to be a special deal that I'll be doing. Yes, it is next Tuesday. So it'll be St. Patrick's Day that night. I'm going to be setting up a special chat with some gentlemen because I am going to start doing my solo chat again too, just, you know, periodically, probably not every week, but I will start doing it more. A lot of people have asked about it, doing it, so I'm going to do it. So that's what I'm going to start doing that. So I will, I'll send out notifications and I'll let you know who's going to be on the chat, but it's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be gun related. It's also going to be business related. So I'll let y'all kind of think about that a little bit. Rabbi is asking, which ammo do I use for competition shooting? Okay, I'm not a reloader. Y'all all know that. I should be, but I'm not. I shoot a lot of 124, and it's like Blazer, Fiocchi, you know, stuff like that. A lot of Fiocchi. I shoot a lot of 115 also. The recoil doesn't bother me. If you're recoil sensitive, go with a heavier bullet like 124, 147. It is more expensive, and I try to shoot, you know, what I can get reasonably because I shoot so much. But 124 is kind of like the perfect weight for me. A lot of people prefer 147 because there's absolutely really no recoil. I mean, compared to what 115 is. 115, you're going to notice more of a snap. 124, it's less, and then 147, it's really less. But of course, your bullet's traveling slower too because it's heavier. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, I know I need to get into reloading. So, but man, I travel so much, and I can't take a reloader with me. I know that I could, but I'm not going to set it up in a hotel and start doing all that. I'll tell you the one that I hate. If you want to know what ammo I will never buy again, I've had really, really bad luck with it. Is the Aguila. That Aguila ammo, it has like a glitter. I don't know what the heck it is. It's almost like a copper particles that gets all inside my gun, everywhere. I won't shoot it in 22 now. I won't shoot it in 9. I will not even buy that ammo, and it's Aguila. Some people might have better luck than I've had with it, but I do not shoot Aguila anymore at all. Yep, 750. That's what everybody's told me to buy is the 750. Yeah, reloading's addictive. You're made for a 9mm. Yeah, it was. What did Big Al say? I guess I missed it. Yeah, when housekeeping comes in, sometimes I got my computer, my webcam, and all that stuff out if I'm getting ready for a chat, or sometimes I'll leave that stuff up. But I don't leave any guns in the room or anything like that. I take them all with me. Yeah, I'm not that guy, so I'm not going to leave any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, Blazer, S&B. Yeah, and some people say the Cellar and Bullet, or Cellar, I guess it's S&B is what I call it, but I forget the Cellar or whatever. But some people said that they've had problems with that, but I've shot it and I haven't had any personal problems, but I don't shoot enough of it either. No, I don't do those chats, Rabbi. S&B, okay, yeah. If you've had good luck with it, hell, use it. That's what I said. But Aguila was not good to me. So, pellet, yeah, that's it. All right. Well, if y'all don't have anything else, we will go ahead and shut this off for the evening. I appreciate y'all so much. Of course, 17 does too. It really means a lot that y'all spend the time with us that you do and give us great questions, great content, stuff like that. I put out a video. I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's getting a little controversy, but I'm being honest. About the shill stuff and free gear and all the negativity that that I've been seeing in some things, and maybe y'all haven't been seeing it, but I just wanted to nip that in the butt and give my opinion. And if you want to watch the video, you can. But I appreciate all y'all. All right. Well, thank y'all so much. Have a great night. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks to everyone. Take care.